Okay. Hello, fellow witches and wizards. My name is Phoenix Jenny, and welcome to the stream.
Right.
Welcome to. Oh no, I forgot to mute this. There we go. Okay. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to my first Harry Potter Saturday. Although I don't know if it would really be called the first, just because I've been reading Harry Potter almost every Saturday, kind of, sort of, since I started reading Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, because now we're on Goblet of Fire. But this is a little more special because we're going to be doing a couple of things. We're going to do a handful of things, a few things. I think that's official. 3 things, so that's considered a few. Yeah. But anyway, so we're going to be doing more than just reading Harry Potter today. We're also going to be writing some fan fiction for a little bit, and we're going to be playing Hogwarts Legacy. Really, really exciting. I'd like to suggest to you, if you're interested, I did a live stream test yesterday, and normally when I test live streams, I don't leave them on my channel. I don't make them public or anything because they're just tests, and I'm usually not wearing makeup or anything. Indeed, I'm not wearing makeup in that video. But I had to actually play the game a little bit to see how it would work, and I think you're going to love my authentic reaction to things. So I was like, this is great. I have to post this. So I did. And so I recommend that you go on my channel and find it. So you're going to get my authentic reaction to the first half an hour of the game, which is essentially just me doing character creating and then seeing the first cutscene or whatever. So, but I'll talk more about that later when I actually start the game, because I won't actually start the game because we're going to read Harry Potter and write fan fiction first. So yeah, we're going to do those very, very soon. First of all, it'd be really helpful if you could leave a like on the stream, click subscribe, and turn on notifications so you can be notified the next time I go live. I plan on going live next week. Thursday, Friday, Saturday is the plan, but my plans are constantly changing. So if you want to know what my streaming schedule is going to be, you can follow me on Twitter, or you can see the posts that I leave. If you turn on notifications, you'll get notified every time I leave a post, and I always post on YouTube my schedule. But yeah, there's that. Also, I have a Patreon in the description if you'd like to support me as a content creator. I'm also a writer, and so I have short stories on there if you'd like to read those. And I have free stuff on there as well if you can't afford that, but you'd still like to read my stuff. I have free stuff on there as well. The last thing I just posted was chapter 1 of my new mystery novel that I've written. It's not the novel that I've been working on. I'm working on so many things. This is more of a novella. I think that's how you pronounce it, novella. It's a short novel. It's only going to be like 8 chapters long, something like that. And it's all pretty much written except the last chapter. But first chapter's out, and it is free because I want you guys to see kind of what it's going to be about. But the rest of it, you will have to become a Patreon to read the rest of it. But it's a mystery novel, and there's notes in there so you can keep track of who all the suspects are and what all the clues are, so that you can kind of solve the mystery for yourself. It's really, really fun. I can give you a short description of it. So basically, I'm planning on doing a series of these in the future. It's basically this private detective. The main character is a private detective named Violet Applewood, and she lives in this fictional town called Snowdon. And it's almost always perpetually winter. She, solves cases. She's like Nancy Drew, although she gets paid. And basically the principal of Crandall School, this elite private school up in the mountains, has come down to offer her a case because one of her students has been pushed down a flight of stairs. And there's a series of suspects and strange happenings around this particular girl. And we're going to go up to the school and find out exactly what has happened to this girl and who has done this to her. I'm very, very proud of it. I think it's very fun. I came up with the whole story while I was doing dishes at my parents' house one day. It was a couple years ago. I literally was doing dishes and I came up with the whole storyline right there. I was like, okay, who are my suspects? How does one suspect lead to another suspect? How does one clue lead to another clue? And I had so much fun making it. So, please, enjoy that. First chapter is free. So just click on the link in the description and you'll find it. Yeah, and then I also have a TikTok and an Instagram. I just left a funny TikTok and Instagram post yesterday. I'm planning on making another one, which isn't actually about me. It's actually something somebody else said, but still, I think it's really fun. So check those out. And feel free to talk in the chat, especially if you want to talk about when we're reading and you want to join in the discussion. That would be really fun. And you can also join the discussion in the comment section down below if you're watching this and it's no longer live. Okay, so before we get started, I just want to, I don't know if I should talk about this right now or if I should wait until I actually start the game. Yeah, maybe I'll wait till I start the game to actually talk about it. There's a couple of things I want to talk about before we get started, and I don't want it to get, I don't know. I don't really know how to describe exactly what's going on in my head right now, but I don't want to go on too long and wait too long before we actually play the game. But we're going to start by reading, and we're only reading one chapter today. We're going to read chapter 23, The Yule Ball. I'll do a recap of the last two chapters we read. The last two chapters were, chapter 22, The Unexpected Task, one of my favorite chapters, because that's when Harry is told that he is expected, because he's a Triwizard Champion, he's expected to open the ball, the dance, by dancing with his partner, so he needs to find one. McGonagall is like, unless you want to show up without a partner and be really embarrassed, you better find somebody. And then Ron figures he probably should find somebody too. And so there's just this, just a bunch of craziness happens because, they're teenage boys that have no idea how to ask out a girl to a dance, and it's hilarious. Harry asking out Cho Chang, and she's already going with Cedric Diggory, and all of a sudden Cedric Diggory's the worst human being to ever walk the planet. And then Ron, without thinking, asks out Fleur Delacour and completely makes a fool of himself. And it's funny. What else? Hermione's going with somebody, but we don't know who she's going with. She refuses to tell anybody. Ron's convinced that she's actually lying. And Ginny, did she reveal that she's going with Neville? I think she did. I hope so. I hope I didn't just spoil that. But Ginny's going with Neville. And Harry is going with Parvati Patil. Hard to pronounce her name. And Ron is potentially going with her sister. So, yes, that's where we left off. So now they have dates, and now they're about to have an absolutely miserable time, while we have the best time. I feel like my camera's being glitchy. I don't know why. Unacceptable. I know it's shaking because it's leaned up against my desk and I moved my desk, but otherwise. Okay. Oh, that was chapter 22. There was a chapter before that. Chapter 21, The House Has Liberation Front. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, Dobby's at Hogwarts. He works in the kitchens. And we met Winky there as well, and Dobby is enjoying his newfound freedom, but he's clearly looked down upon by the other elves, but that doesn't seem to stop him. And Winky, of course, is having a rough time because she's not enjoying her freedom. But that's basically chapter 21. All right, so chapter 23, the Yule Ball. Okay, despite the very heavy load of homework that the fourth years had been given for the holidays, Harry was in no mood to work when term ended, and spent the week leading up to Christmas enjoying himself as fully as possible along with everyone else. Gryffindor Tower was hardly less crowded now than during term time. It seemed to have shrunk slightly too, as its inhabitants were being so much rowdier than usual. Fred and George had had a great success with their canary creams, and for the first couple of days of the holidays people kept bursting into feather all over the place. Before long, however, all the Gryffindors had learned to treat food anybody else offered them with extra caution in case it had a canary cream concealed in the center. And George confided to Harry that he and Fred were now working on developing something else. Harry made a mental note never to accept so much as a crisp from Fred and George in future. A crisp is a chip in America. Like a potato chip. He still hadn't forgotten Dudley and the Ton Tong Toffee. Right, that was in chapter 4. The snow was falling thickly upon the castle and its grounds now. The pale blue Beauxbaton's carriage looked like a large, chilly, frosted pumpkin next to the iced gingerbread house that was Hagrid's cabin. While the Durmstrang ship's portholes were glazed with ice, the rigging white with frost, the house elves down in the kitchen were outdoing themselves with a series of rich, warming stews and savory puddings, and only Fleur Delacour seemed to be able to find anything to complain about. Oh, yeah. Of course she does. Actually, I think I'll just leave this open. It is too heavy, all this Hogwarts food, they heard her saying grumpily as they left the great hall before her one evening. Ron sulking behind Harry, keen not to be spotted by Fleur. I will not fit into my dress robes. Ooh, that is a tragedy. Hermione snapped as Fleur went out into the entrance hall. She really thinks a lot of herself, that one, doesn't she? Hermione, who are you going to the ball with? Said Ron. He kept springing this question on her, hoping to startle her into a response by asking it when she least expected it. However, Hermione merely frowned and said, I'm not telling you. You'll just make fun of me. You're joking, Weasley, said Malfoy behind them. You're not telling me someone's asked that to the ball. Not the long-molded mudblood. She's not long-molded anymore, stupid. And yes, of course, she's lovely. Harry and Ron both whipped around, but Hermione said loudly, waving to somebody over Malfoy's shoulder, Hello, Professor Moody. Malfoy went pale and jumped backward, looking wildly around for Moody, but he was still up at the staff table finishing his stew. Twitchy little ferret, aren't you, Malfoy? Said Hermione, scathingly, and she, Harry, and Ron went up the marble staircase, laughing heartily. We do love a queen. Actually, I want to write that. All right. Hermione, said Ron, looking sideways at her, suddenly frowning. Your teeth. What about them? She said. Well, they're different. I've just noticed. Of course they are. Did you expect me to keep those fangs Malfoy gave me? No, I mean, they're different to how they were before he put that hex on you. They're all straight and normal-sized. Hermione suddenly smiled very mischievously. And Harry noticed it too. It was a very different smile from the one he remembered. Well, When I went up to Madame Pomfrey to get them shrunk, she held up a mirror and told me to stop her when they were back to how they normally were, she said. And I just let her carry on a bit. She smiled even more widely. Mom and Dad won't be too pleased. I've been trying to persuade them to let me shrink them for ages, but they wanted me to carry on with my braces. You know, the dentists. They just don't think teeth and magic should... Look! Pigwidgeon's back! Ron's tiny owl was twittering madly on the top of the icicle-laden banisters, a scroll of parchment tied to his leg. People passing him were pointing and laughing, and a group of third-year girls paused and said, "Oh, look at that weeny owl, isn't he cute?" "Stupid little feathery git," Ron hissed, hurrying up the stairs and snatching up Pigwidgeon. "You bring letters to the addressee. You don't hang around showing off." Pigwidgeon hooted happily, his head protruding over Ron's fist. The third-year girls all looked very shocked. "Clear off," Ron snapped at them. Jeez. Waving the fist holding Pigwidgeon, who hooted more happily than ever as he soared through the air. "Here, take it, Harry," Ron added in an undertone as the third-year girls scuttled away, looking scandalized. He pulled Sirius's reply off of Pigwidgeon's leg. Harry pocketed it, and they hurried back to Gryffindor Tower to read it. Everyone in the common room was much too busy in letting off more holiday steam to observe what anyone else was up to. Ron, Harry, and Hermione sat apart from everyone else by a dark window that was gradually filling up with snow, and Harry read out, "Dear Harry, congratulations on getting past the Horntail. Whoever put your name in the goblet shouldn't be feeling too happy right now. I was going to suggest a conjunctivus curse as a dragon's eye are its weakest point. That's what Crumb did," Hermione whispered. "But your way was better. I'm impressed. Don't get complacent, though, Harry. You've only done one task. Whoever put you in for the tournament's got plenty more opportunity if they're trying to hurt you. Keep your eyes open, particularly when the person we discussed is around, and concentrate on keeping yourself out of trouble. Keep in touch. I still want to hear about anything unusual. Serious." I would like to think that whoever put his name in the goblet would be feeling happy, but they would not be feeling happy, but they actually are, because the intent is not to kill Harry, as we'll see later. "He sounds exactly like Moody," said Harry quietly, tucking the letter away again inside his robes. "Constant vigilance. You'd think I'd walk around with my eyes shut, banging off the walls." "But he's right, Harry," said Hermione. "You have still got 2 tasks to do. You really ought to have a look at that egg, you know, and start working out what it means." "Hermione, he's got ages," snapped Ron. "Want a game of chess, Harry?" "Yeah, okay," said Harry. Then, spotting the look on Hermione's face, he said, "Come on, how am I supposed to concentrate with all this noise going on? I won't even be able to hear the egg over this lot." "Oh, I suppose not," she sighed, and she sat down to watch their chess match, which culminated in an exciting checkmate of Ron's, involving a couple of recklessly braved pawns and a very violent bishop. Harry awoke very suddenly on Christmas Day. Wondering what had caused his abrupt return to consciousness, he opened his eyes and saw something with very large, round, green eyes staring back at him in the darkness, so close they were almost nose to nose. "Dobby!" Harry yelled. He scrambled away from the elf so fast he almost fell out of bed. "Don't do that!" "Dobby is sorry, sir," squeaked Dobby anxiously, jumping backward with his long fingers over his mouth. "Dobby is only wanting to wish Harry Potter Merry Christmas and bring him a present, sir. Harry Potter did say Dobby could come and see him sometime, sir." "It's okay," said Harry, still breathing rather faster than usual, while his heart rate returned to normal. Just prod me or something in future, all right? Don't bend over me like that." Harry pulled back the curtains around his 4-poster, took his glasses from his bedside table, and put them on. His yell had awoken Ron, Seamus, Dean, and Neville. All of them were peering through the gaps in their own hangings, heavy-eyed and tassel-haired. "Someone attacking you, Harry?" Seamus asked sleepily. No, it's just Dobby, Harry muttered. Go back to sleep. Nah, presents, said Seamus, spying a large pile at the foot of his bed. Ron, Dean, and Neville decided that now they were awake they might as well get down to some present opening, too. Harry turned back to Dobby, who was now standing nervously next to Harry's bed, still looking worried that he had upset Harry. There was a Christmas bauble tied to the loop at the top of his tea cozy. Can Dobby give Harry Potter his present? He squeaked tentatively. Of course you can, said Harry. I've got something for you, too. It was a lie. He hadn't bought anything for Dobby at all, but he quickly opened his trunk and pulled out a particularly knobbly rolled-up pair of socks. They were his oldest and foulest, mustard yellow, and had once belonged to Uncle Vernon. The reason they were extra knobbly was that Harry had been using them to cushion his sneakoscope for over a year now. He pulled out the sneakoscope and handed the socks to Dobby, saying, Sorry, I forgot to wrap them. But Dobby was utterly delighted. Socks are Dobby's favorite clothes, sir, he said, ripping off his old ones and pulling on Uncle Vernon's. I has 7 now, sir. But, sir, he said, his eyes widening, having pulled both socks up to the highest extent so that they reached to the bottom of his shorts. They has made a mistake in the shop, Harry Potter. They's giving you 2 the same. He's so cute. Oh, no, Harry, how come you didn't spot that? Said Ron, grinning over from his own bed, which was now strewn with wrapping paper. Tell you what, Dobby, here you go. Take these 2, and you can mix them up properly. And here's your sweater. He threw Dobby a pair of violet socks he had just unwrapped, and the hand-knitted sweater Mrs. Weasley had sent. Dobby looked quite overwhelmed. Sir is very kind, he squeaked, his eyes brimming with tears again, bowing deeply to Ron. Dobby knew Sir must be a great wizard, for he is Harry Potter's greatest friend. But Dobby did not know that he was also as generous of spirit, as noble, as selfless. They're only socks, said Ron, who had gone slightly pink around the ears, though he looked rather pleased all the same. Wow, Harry. He had just opened Harry's present, a Chudley Cannon hat. Cool! He jammed it onto his head, where it clashed horribly with his hair. Dobby now handed Harry a small package, which turned out to be socks. Dobby is making them himself, sir, the elf said happily. He is buying the wool out of his wages, sir. The left sock was bright red and had a pattern of broomsticks upon it. The right sock was green with a pattern of snitches. The left sock, I said that right? The left sock was bright red and the right one is green with snitches. They're really... Well, thanks, Dobby, said Harry, and he pulled them on, causing Dobby's eyes to leak with happiness again. Dobby must go now, sir. We is already making Christmas dinner in the kitchen, said Dobby, and he hurried out of the dormitory, waving goodbye to Ron and the others as he passed. Harry's other presents were much more satisfactory than Dobby's old socks, with the obvious exception of the Dursleys, which consisted of a single tissue. An all-time low, Harry supposed. They, too, were remembering the Tun-Tong Toffee. Hermione had given Harry a book called Quidditch Teams of Britain and Ireland, Ron a bulging bag of dung bombs, Sirius a handy penknife with attachments to unlock any lock and undo any knot, and Hagrid a vast box of sweets, including all Harry's favorites. Bertie Bott's every flavor of beans, chocolate frogs, Drooble's best blowing gum, and fizzing whiz-bees. Okay, so Sirius gives Harry a penknife that allows him to unlock any lock and undo any knot. Does he ever use it? I can't think that he does. But the thing is, he also gets a sword that's able to, he gets, this sword from Sirius that's able to open any door. And he tries to use it in that mystery door at the Department of Mysteries, and he shoves it in, and it melts because something behind the door is so powerful that it melts the sword. So then, is that the same thing? Or am I confusing that with this? Or did J.K. Rowling completely forget that she wrote that and forgot to use it or something? I don't know. Because I don't think we ever see that again. Um, there was also, of course, Mrs. Weasley's usual package, including a new sweater, green with a picture of a dragon on it. Harry supposed Charlie had told her all about the horntail, and a large quantity of homemade mince pies. Harry and Ron met up with Hermione in the common room, and they went down to breakfast together. They spent most of the morning in Gryffindor Tower, where everyone was enjoying their presents, then returned to the Great Hall for a magnificent lunch, which included at least 100 turkeys and Christmas puddings, and large piles of Cribbage's wizarding crackers. They went out onto the grounds in the afternoon. The snow was untouched except for the deep channels made by the Durmstrang and Beauxbaton students on their way up to the castle. Hermione chose to watch Harry and the Weasleys snowball fight rather than join in, and at 5 o'clock said she was going back upstairs to get ready for the ball. I forgot about the ball! That's the whole point of the chapter. I just got really excited. What, you need 3 hours? Yes, you do, my son. Women, they need as much time as they can get, said Ron, looking at her incredulously and paying for his lapse in concentration with a large snowball thrown by George, hit him hard on the side of the head. Who are you going with? He yelled after Hermione, but she just waved and disappeared up the stone steps into the castle. There was no Christmas tea today, as the ball included a feast, so at 7 o'clock, when it had become hard to aim properly, the others abandoned their snowball fight and trooped back to the common room. The fat lady was sitting in her frame with their friend Violet from downstairs, both of them extremely tipsy, empty boxes of chocolate liqueurs littering the bottom of her picture. Larry fights, that's the one. The password is fairy lights, but she's a little drunk, so she misspoke. She giggled when they gave the password, and she swung forward to let them inside. Harry, Ron, Seamus, Dean, and Neville changed into their dress robes up in their dormitory, all of them looking very self-conscious, but none as much as Ron, who surveyed himself in the long mirror in the corner with an appalled look on his face. There was just no getting around the fact that his robes looked more like a dress than anything else. In a desperate attempt to make them look more manly, he used a severing charm on the ruff and cuffs. It worked fairly well. At least he was now lace-free, although he hadn't done a very neat job, and the edges still looked depressingly frayed as the boys set off downstairs. I still can't work out how you two got the best-looking girls in the year, muttered Dean. Oh, please. No, they're not. Not that they're not lovely. I disagree. Animal magnetism, said Ron gloomily. Oh, he didn't say it like that. He said, animal magnetism, said Ron gloomily, pulling stray threads off of his cuffs. The common room looked strange, full of people wearing different colors instead of the usual mass of black. Parvati was waiting for Harry at the front of the stairs. She looked very pretty indeed, in robes of shocking pink, with her long dark plait braided with gold, and the gold bracelets glimmering at her wrists. Harry was relieved to see that she wasn't giggling. I really like in the movie how they dressed everybody up according to their nationality. The costume designer, Janie Tamime, she had the Patil sisters in their saris and sari-looking like dresses, which were very beautiful. And then Cho Chang, she was wearing a traditional Chinese dress, very slim with long sleeves. And then Fleur Delacour is also wearing a traditional French dress. You look nice, he said awkwardly. Thanks, she said. Padma's going to meet you in the entrance hall, she added to Ron. Right, said Ron, looking around. Where's Hermione? Parvati shrugged. Shall we go down then, Harry? Okay, said Harry, wishing he could just stay in the common room. Fred winked at Harry as he passed him on the way out of the portrait hall. The entrance hall was packed with students, too, all milling around waiting for 8 o'clock, when the doors to the great hall would be thrown open. Those people who were meeting partners from different houses were edging through the crowd trying to find one another. Parvati found her sister Padma and led her over to Harry and Ron. Hi, said Padma, who was looking just as pretty as Parvati in the robes of bright turquoise. Oh, that'd be so pretty. She didn't look too enthusiastic about having Ron as a partner, though, her dark eyes lingering on the frayed neck and sleeves of his dress robes as she looked at him up and down. "Hi," said Ron, not looking at her, but staring around at the crowd. Oh no. He bent his knees slightly to hide behind Harry, because Lord Delacour was passing, looking stunning in robes of silver-grey satin, and accompanied by the Ravenclaw Quidditch captain, Roger Davies. When they had disappeared, Ron stood straight again and stared over the heads of the crowd. "Where is Hermione?" he said again. A group of Slytherins came up the steps from their dungeon common room. Malfoy was in front. He was wearing dress robes of black velvet with a high collar, which in Harry's opinion made him look like a vicar. Pansy Parkinson, in very frilly robes of pale pink, was clutching Malfoy's arm. Crabbe and Goyle were both wearing green. They resembled moss-colored boulders, and neither of them, Harry was pleased to see, had managed to find a partner. The oak front doors opened, and everyone turned to look at the Durmstrang students entered. As the Durmstrang students entered with Professor Karkaroff, Krum was at the front of the party, accompanied by a pretty girl in blue robes Harry didn't know. Over their heads he saw that an area of lawn right in front of the castle had been transformed into a sort of grotto full of fairy lights, meaning hundreds of actual living fairies were sitting in the rose bushes that had been conjured there, and fluttering over the statues of what seemed to be Father Christmas and his reindeer. Then Professor McGonagall's voice called, "Champions, over here, please." Parvati readjusted her bangles, beaming. She and Harry said, "See you in a minute," to Ron and Padma, and walked forward, the chattering crowd parting to let them through. Professor McGonagall, who was wearing dress robes of red tartan and had arranged a rather ugly wreath of thistles around the brim of her hat, told them to wait on one side of the doors while everyone else went inside. They were to enter the great hall in procession when the rest of the students had sat down. Lord Delacour and Roger Davies stationed themselves nearest the doors. Davies looked so stunned by his good fortune in having Fleur for a partner that he could hardly take his eyes off her. Cedric and Cho were close to Harry, too. He looked away from them so he wouldn't have to talk to them. His eyes fell instead on the girl next to Krum. His jaw dropped. It was Hermione. But she didn't look like Hermione at all. She had done something with her hair. It was no longer bushy, but sleek and shiny, and twisted up in an elegant knot at the back of her head. She was wearing robes made of a floaty periwinkle blue material, and she was holding herself differently, somehow. Or maybe it was merely the absence of the 20 or so books she usually had slung over her back. She was also smiling, rather nervously. It was true, but the reduction of the size of her front teeth were more noticeable than ever. Harry couldn't understand how. He hadn't spotted it before. So when the movie first came out, a lot of people were quite upset because Hermione wasn't wearing periwinkle blue. But there's actually really good reason for that. Janie Tamime stated that she wanted to give Hermione a pink dress because she wanted Hermione to look distinctly feminine, but still she wanted her to look feminine. But she also kind of still wanted to give her a schoolgirl kind of look, like she's almost a woman, not quite. There's also a very important reason that they didn't mention, that she didn't mention, but I think is also probably the case. If you'll notice in the movie, the set is very much a blue tint. Because the place is covered in icicles. We'll read soon that the place is decorated in such a way that the place is covered in icicles. So there's a lot of whites and pale blues going on. And periwinkle is quite a pale blue. And so if Hermione were to wear that sort of dress, it wouldn't stand out at all. Her grand entrance would be a little lackluster. To give Hermione a pink dress makes her stand out much more out of the crowd. And that's why they chose that color. I believe, at least. Hi, Harry, she said. Hi, Parvati. Parvati was gazing at Hermione in unflattering disbelief. She wasn't the only one either. When the doors to the great hall opened, Krum's fan club from the library stalked past, throwing Hermione looks of deepest loathing. Pansy Parkinson gaped at her as she walked by with Malfoy, and even he didn't seem to be able to find an insult to throw at her. Ron, however, walked right past Hermione without looking at her. Of course. Oh my goodness. Once everyone else was settled in the hall, Professor McGonagall told the champions and their partners to get in line in pairs and to follow her. They did so, and everyone in the great hall applauded as they entered and started walking up toward a large round table at the top of the hall where the judges were sitting. The walls of the hall had all been covered in sparkling silver frost, with hundreds of garlands and mistletoe and ivy crossing the starry black ceiling. The host tables had vanished. Instead, there were about 100 smaller lantern-lit ones, each seating about a dozen people. Read the words. Harry concentrated on not tripping over his feet. Parvati seemed to be enjoying herself. She was beaming around at everybody, steering Harry so forcefully that he felt as though he were a show dog. She was putting through its paces. He caught sight of Ron and Padma as he neared the top table. Ron was watching Hermione pass with narrowed eyes. Padma was looking sulky. Dumbledore smiled happily as the champions approached the top table, but Karkaroff wore an expression remarkably like Ron's as he watched Crumb and Hermione drew nearer. Ludo Bagman, tonight in robes of bright purple with large yellow stars, was clapping as enthusiastically as any of the students, and Madame Maxime, who had changed her usual uniform of black satin for a flowing gown of lavender silk, was applauding them politely. But Mr. Crouch, Harry suddenly realized, was not there. The fifth seat at the table was occupied by Percy Weasley. Mr. Crouch is not there. That's important. Wink, wonk, wink, wonk. Yeah, he's not doing so well right now. When the champions and their partners reached the table, Percy drew out the empty chair beside him, staring pointedly at Harry. Harry took the hint and sat down next to Percy, who was wearing brand new navy blue dress robes, an expression of such smugness that Harry thought it ought to be fined. "I've been promoted," Percy said before Harry could even ask, and from his tone he might have been announcing his election as supreme ruler of the universe. "I'm now Mr. Crouch's personal assistant, and I'm here representing him." "You mean you weren't his personal assistant before?" "Why didn't he come?" Harry asked. He wasn't looking forward to being lectured on cauldron bottoms all through dinner. "I'm afraid to say Mr. Crouch isn't well. Not well at all. Hasn't been right since the World Cup. Hardly surprising. Overwork. He's not as young as he was. Though still quite brilliant, of course. The mind remains as great as it ever was. But the World Cup was a fiasco for the whole ministry, and then Mr. Crouch suffered a huge personal shock when the misbehavior of that house elf of his, Blinky, or whatever she was called. Naturally, he dismissed her immediately afterward, but, well, as I say, he's getting on. He needs looking after, and I think he's found a definite drop in his home comfort since she left. And then we had the tournament to arrange, and the aftermath of the cup to deal with. That revolting Skeeter woman buzzing around. No, poor man. He's having a well-earned quiet Christmas. I'm just glad he knew he had someone he could rely upon to take his place." Harry wanted very much to ask whether Mr. Crouch had stopped calling Percy Weatherby, yet he resisted the temptation. "Good to see you, Wallenby." There was no food as yet on the glittering golden plates, but some small menus were lying in front of each of them. Harry picked his up uncertainly and looked around. There were no waiters. Dumbledore, however, looked carefully down at his own menu and said very clearly to his plate, "Pork chops." And pork chops appeared. Getting the idea, the rest of the table placed their orders with their plates too. Harry glanced up at Hermione to see how she felt about this new and more complicated method of dining. Surely it meant plenty of extra work for the house elves. But for once, Hermione didn't seem to be thinking about SPW. She was deep in talk with Victor Crumb and hardly seemed to notice what she was eating. It now occurred to Harry that he had never actually heard Crumb speak before, but he was certainly talking now, and very enthusiastically at that. Well, we have a castle also. Not as big as this, nor as comfortable, I am thinking, he was telling Hermione. We have just 4 floors, and the fires are lit only for magical purposes. But we have grounds larger even than these, though in winter we have very little daylight, so we are not enjoying them. But in summer we are flying every day, over the lakes and the mountains. Now, Victor, said Karkaroff with a laugh that didn't reach his cold eyes, don't go giving away anything else now, or your charming friend will know exactly where to find us. Dumbledore smiled, his eyes twinkling. Igor, all this secrecy. One would almost think you didn't want visitors. Well, Dumbledore, said Karkaroff, displaying his yellowing teeth to their fullest extent, we are all protective of our private domains, are we not? Do we not jealously guard the halls of learning that have been entrusted to us? Are we not right to be proud that we alone know our school's secrets, and right to protect them? Oh, I would never dream of assuming I know all Hogwarts secrets, Igor, said Dumbledore amicably. Only this morning, for instance, I took a wrong turning on the way to the bathroom, and found myself in a beautifully proportioned room I have never seen before, containing a really rather magnificent collection of chamber pots. When I went back to investigate more closely, I discovered that the room had vanished. But I must keep an eye out for it. Possibly it is only accessible at 5:30 in the morning, or it may only appear at the quarter moon, or when the seeker has an exceptionally full bladder. It is actually the room of requirement, fun fact. Harry snorted into his plate of goulash. Goulash. It's such a fun word. It also makes me think of the second Sherlock Holmes movie, Game of Shadows. They go to the gypsy camp and they eat hedgehog goulash. I can't ever remember having better. Perhaps you've repressed it. Percy frowned, but Harry could have sworn Dumbledore had given him a very small wink. Meanwhile, Fleur Delacour is criticizing the Hogwarts decorations to Roger Davies. How is Harry able to hear all these different conversations happening? Are they all sitting around this one big table? Maybe they are, and I wasn't paying attention. This is nothing, she said dismissively, looking around at the sparkling walls of the great hall. As the Palace of Beauxbatons, we have ice sculptures all around the dining chamber at Christmas. They do not melt, of course. They are like huge statues of diamond glittering around the place. And the food is simply superb. And we have choirs of wood nymphs who serenade us as we eat. We have none of the ugly armor in the halls, and if a poltergeist ever entered into Beauxbatons, he would be expelled like that. She slapped her hand onto the table impatiently. Roger Davies was watching her talk with a very dazed look on his face, and he kept missing his mouth with his fork. Harry had the impression that Davies was too busy staring at Fleur to take in a word she was saying. Absolutely right, he said quickly, slapping his own hand down on the table in imitation of Fleur. Like that, yeah. Harry looked around the hall. Hagrid is sitting at one of the other staff tables. He was back in his horrible Harry Brown suit and gazing up at the top table. Harry saw him give a small wave, and looking around saw Madame Maxime return it, her opals glittering in the candlelight. Hermione was now teaching Krum to say her name properly. He kept calling her Hermione. Okay, so when this book became exceptionally popular, people who've never heard the name of Hermione, because even in the UK, the name Hermione is kind of rare. But, people were reading this book all around the world, and people continued to call Hermione Hermione. They didn't know how to pronounce that name. Including my own 4th grade teacher, who always pronounced it Hermione when she read the book. And so J.K. Rowling decided to give us a lesson on how to pronounce her name. Hermione, she said slowly and clearly. Hermione. Close enough, she said, catching Harry's eye and grinning. When all the food had been consumed, Dumbledore stood up and asked the students to do the same. Then, with a wave of his wand, all the tables zoomed back along the walls, leaving the floor clear, and then he conjured a raised platform into existence along the right wall. A set of drums, several guitars, a lute, a cello, and some bagpipes were set upon it. The Weird Sisters now trooped up onto the stage to wildly enthusiastic applause. They were all extremely hairy and dressed in black robes that had been artfully ripped and torn. They picked up their instruments, and Harry, who had been so interested in watching them that they had almost forgotten what was coming, suddenly realized that the lanterns on all the other tables had gone out, and that the other champions and their partners were standing up. "Come on," Parvati hissed. "We're supposed to dance." Harry tripped over his dress robes as he stood up. The Weird Sisters struck up a slow, mournful tune. Harry walked onto the brightly lit dance floor, carefully avoiding catching anyone's eye. He could see Seamus and Dean waving at him and sniggering, and next moment Parvati had seized his hands, placed one around her waist, and was holding the other tightly in hers. It wasn't as bad as it could have been, Harry thought, revolving slowly on the spot Parvati was steering. He kept his eyes fixed over the heads of the watching people, and very soon many of them, too, had come onto the dance floor, so that the champions were no longer the center of attention. Neville and Ginny were dancing nearby. He could see Ginny wincing frequently as Neville trod on her feet. And Dumbledore was waltzing with Madame Maxime. I think the movie is better. I think having Neville dance very well and enjoy it, I think that's way better. I think it's a way better look on him. He was so dwarfed by her that the top of his pointed hat barely tickled her chin. However, she moved very gracefully for a woman so large. Madame Moody was doing an extremely ungainly two-step with Professor Sinistra, who was nervously avoiding his wooden leg. "Nice socks, Potter," Moody growled as he passed, his magical eyes staring through Harry's robes. "Oh, yeah, Dobby the House Elf knitted them for me," said Harry, grinning. "He is so creepy," Parvati whispered as Moody clunked away. "I don't think that I should be allowed." Harry heard the final quavering note from the bagpipe with relief. The Weird Sisters stopped playing, applause filled the hall once more, and Harry let go of Parvati at once. "Let's sit down, shall we?" "Oh, but this is a really good one," Parvati said as the Weird Sisters struck up a new song, which was much faster. "No, I don't like it," Harry lied as he led her away from the dance floor. Harry. Ugh, I feel so bad for her. He's being terrible. Past Fred and Angelina, who were dancing so exuberantly that people around them were backing away in fear of injury, and over to the table where Ron and Padma were sitting. "How's it going?" Harry asked Ron, sitting down and opening a bottle of butterbeer. Ron didn't answer. He was glaring at Hermione and Crumb, who were dancing nearby. "He's being grumpy." Padma was sitting with her arms and legs crossed, one foot jingling in time to the music. Every now and then she threw a disgruntled look at Ron, who was completely ignoring her. Parvati sat down on Harry's other side, crossed her arms and legs too, and within minutes was asked to dance by a boy from Beauxbatons. Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, I've had dates like that. I've had dates where I've been completely ignored like that. It is not fun and not okay. "You don't mind, do you, Harry?" Parvati said. "What?" said Harry, who was now watching Cho and Cedric. "Oh, never mind," snapped Parvati, and she went off with the boy from Beauxbatons. When the song ended, she did not return. Hermione came over and sat down in Parvati's empty chair. She was a bit pink in the face from dancing. "Hi," said Harry. Ron didn't say anything. "It's hot, isn't it?" said Hermione, fanning herself with her hand. "Victor's just gone to get some drinks." Ron gave her a withering look. "Victor," he said. "Hasn't he asked you to call him Vicky yet?" Hermione looked at him in surprise. "What's up with you?" she said. "If you don't know," said Ron scathingly, "I'm not going to tell you." That's such a woman thing to say, Ron. Come on now. Hermione stared at him, then at Harry, who shrugged. "Ron, what? He's from Durmstrang," spat Ron. "He's competing against Harry, against Hogwarts. You're... Ron was obviously casting around for a word strong enough to describe Hermione's crime. "Fraternizing with the enemy, that's what you're doing." Hermione's mouth fell open. Don't be so stupid, she said for a moment. The enemy? Honestly, who was the one who was all excited when they saw him arrive? Who was the one who wanted his autograph? Who's got a model of him up in their dormitory? Ron chose to ignore this. I suppose he asked you to come with him while you were both in the library. Yes, he did, said Hermione, the pink patches on her cheeks glowing more brightly. So what? What happened? Trying to get him to join Spew, were you? No, I wasn't. If you really want to know, he said he'd been coming up to the library every day to try and talk to me, but he hadn't been able to pluck up the courage. Hermione said this very quickly, and blushed so deeply that she was the same color as Parvati's robes. Yeah, well, that's his story, said Ron nastily. And what's that supposed to mean? Obvious, isn't it? He's Karkaroff's student, isn't he? He knows who you hang around with. He's just trying to get close to Harry, get inside information on him, or get near enough to jinx him. Hermione looked as though Ron had slapped her. When she spoke, her voice quivered. For your information, he hasn't asked me one single thing about Harry. Not one. Ron changed tack at the speed of light. Then he's hoping you'll help him find out what his egg means. I suppose you've been putting your heads together during those cozy little library sessions. I'd never help him work out that egg, said Hermione, looking outraged. Never. How could you say something like that? I want Harry to win the tournament. Harry knows that. Don't you, Harry? I've got a funny way of showing it, sneered Ron. This whole tournament's supposed to be getting to know foreign wizards and making friends with them, said Hermione hotly. No, it isn't, shouted Ron. It's about winning. People were starting to stare at them. Ron, said Harry quietly, I haven't got a problem with Hermione coming with Crumb. Yeah, honey, it's not you that has the problem, it's him. He knows. It's not about you, dear. That's what I wrote in the book. But Ron ignored Harry, too. Why don't you go and find Vicky? He'll be wondering where you are, said Ron. Don't call him Vicky. Hermione jumped to her feet and stormed off across the dance floor, disappearing into the crowd. Ron watched her go with a mixture of anger and satisfaction on his face. Are you going to ask me to dance at all? Padma asked him. No, said Ron, still glaring after Hermione. Fine, snapped Padma, as she got up and went to join Parvati and the Beauxbatons boy, who conjured up one of his friends to join them so fast that Harry could have sworn he had zoomed him there by a summoning charm. Oh, that's good. I hope they have a good time. I hope that they have a much better time than they would have had. There is... Oh, jeez. Yeah, he pronounces her name. There is Hermione, said a voice. Crumb had just arrived at their table, clutching 2 butterbeers. No idea, said Ron mullishly, looking up at him. Lost her, have you? Crumb was looking surly again. Well, if you see her, tell her I have the drinks, he said, and he slouched off. Made friends with Victor Crumb, have you, Ron? Percy had bustled over, rubbing his hands together and looking extremely pompous. Excellent. That's the whole point, you know. International magical cooperation. To Harry's displeasure, Percy now took Padma's vacated seat. The top table was now empty. Professor Dumbledore was dancing with Professor Sprout, Little Bagman with Professor McGonagall, Madame Maxime and Hagrid were cutting a wide path around the dance floor as they waltzed through the students, and Karkaroff was nowhere to be seen. Where is he? Oh, wait, is he talking to Snape? No, wait. Ah, man, it's so confusing, because the movie does it differently, and the book does it differently. I can't remember. He might be talking to Snape. I forget where he is. But I started, so it must be important. I can't remember exactly why, though. When the next song ended, everybody applauded once more, and Harry saw Ludo Bagman kiss Professor McGonagall's hand and make his way back through the crowds, at which point Fred and George accosted him. Right. That scene is so good, that deleted scene from Goblet of Fire, where Snape is searching the carriages for students making out. Oh my god, that's so funny. It's hilarious. Anyway. What do they think they're doing, annoying senior ministry members? Percy hissed, watching Fred and George suspiciously. No respect. Ludo Bagman shook off Fred and George fairly quickly, however, and spotted Harry, waved, and came over to their table. I hope my brothers won't bother you, Mr. Bagman, said Percy at once. What? Oh, not at all, said Bagman. Um, yeah. Yeah, Fred and George have a bone to pick with little Bagman. He keeps avoiding them. We'll figure it out soon, though. No, they were just telling me a bit more about those fake wands of theirs, wondering if I could advise them on the marketing. I've promised to put them in touch with a couple of contacts of mine in Zonko's joke shop. Percy didn't look happy about this at all, and Harry was prepared to bet he would be rushing to tell Mrs. Weasley about this the moment he got home. Apparently Fred and George's plans had grown even more ambitious lately, if they were hoping to sell to the public. Bagman opened his mouth to ask Harry something, but Percy diverted him. How do you feel the tournament's going, Mr. Bagman? Our department's quite satisfied. The hitch with the goblet of fire, he glanced at Harry, was a little unfortunate, of course, but it seems to have gone very smoothly since, don't you think? Oh, yes, Bagman said cheerfully. It's all been enormous fun. How's old Barty doing? Shame he couldn't come. Oh, I'm sure Mr. Crouch will be up and about in no time, said Percy importantly. But in the meantime, I'm more than willing to take up the slack. Of course, it's not all attending balls. He laughed airily. Oh, no, I've had to deal with all sorts of things that have cropped up in his absence. You heard Ali Bashir was caught smuggling a consignment of flying carpets into the country. And then we've been trying to persuade the Transylvanians to sign the international ban on dueling. I've got a meeting with the head of Magical Corporation in the new year. Let's go for a walk, Ron muttered to Harry. Get away from Percy. Pretending they wanted more drinks, Harry and Ron left the table, edged around the dance floor, and slipped out into the entrance hall. The front door stood open, and the fluttering fairy lights in the rose garden winked and twinkled as they went down the front steps, where they found themselves surrounded by bushes, winding ornamental paths, and large stone statues. Twinkle lights as they went down the front steps, where they found themselves surrounded by bushes, winding ornamental paths, and large stone statues. Harry could hear splashing water, which sounded like a fountain. Here and there, people were sitting on carved benches. He and Ron sat off along one of the winding paths through the rose bushes, but they had gone only a short way when they heard an unpleasantly familiar voice. Don't see what there is to fuss about, Eagle. This did happen, okay. Severus, you cannot pretend this isn't happening. Karkaroff's voice sounded anxious and hushed, as though keen not to be overheard. It's been getting clearer and clearer for months. I'm becoming seriously concerned. I can't deny it. Then flee, said Snape's voice curtly. Flee. I will make your excuses. I, however, am remaining at Hogwarts. Snape and Karkaroff came around the corner. Snape had his wand out and was blasting rose bushes apart, his expression most ill-natured. Squeals issued from many of the bushes, and dark shapes emerged from them. 10 points from Ravenclaw Fawcett, Snape snarled at a girl as a girl ran past him, and 10 points from Hufflepuff too, Stebbins, as a boy went rushing after him. Oh, that's awkward. And what are you two doing? He added, catching sight of Harry and Ron in the path ahead. Not what they're doing. Karkaroff, Harry saw, looked slightly discomposed. To see them standing there, his hand went nervously to his goatee, and he began winding it around his finger. We're walking. Ron told Snape shortly. Not against the law, is it? Man, Ron's just not having a good time. Keep walking, then, Snape snarled, and he brushed past them, his long black cloak billowing out behind him. Karkaroff hurried away after Snape. Harry and Ron continued down the path. What's got Karkaroff all worried? Ron muttered. And since when have he and Snape been on first-name terms? Said Harry slowly. Yes, interesting story about that. They had reached a large stone reindeer now, over which they could see the sparkling jets of a tall fountain. The shadowy outlines of 2 enormous people were visible on a stone bench, watching the water in the moonlight. And then Harry heard Hagrid speak. Moment I saw ya, I know, he was saying in an oddly husky voice. Harry and Ron froze. This didn't sound like the sort of scene they ought to walk in on somehow. Harry looked around, back up the path, and saw Fleur Delacour and Roger Davy standing half-concealed in a rose bush nearby. He tapped Ron on the shoulder and jerked his head toward them, meaning that they could easily sneak off that way without being noticed. Fleur and Davies looked very busy to Harry. But Ron, eyes widened in horror. The sight of Fleur shook his head vigorously and pulled Harry deeper into the shadows behind the reindeer. What did you know, Hagrid? said Madame Maxime, a purr in her low voice. Harry definitely didn't want to listen to this. He knew Hagrid would hate to be overheard in a situation like this. He certainly would have. If it had been possible, he would have put his fingers in his ears and hummed loudly, but that wasn't really an option. Instead, he tried to interest himself in a beetle crawling along Stone Reindeer's back. That beetle is important. That beetle is not just a beetle. That beetle is Rita Skeeter transformed. But the beetle just wasn't interesting enough to block out Hagrid's next words. I just knew you were like me. Was it your mother or your father? I don't know what you mean, Hagrid. It was my mother, said Hagrid quietly. She was one of the last ones in Britain. Of course, I can't remember her too well. She left, see, when I was about 3. She wasn't really the maternal sort. Well, it's not in their natures, is it? To know what happened to her. Might be dead for all I know. Madame Maxime didn't say anything, and Harry, in spite of himself, took his eyes off the beetle and looked over the top of the reindeer's antlers, listening. He had never heard Hagrid talk about his childhood before. Me dad was broken-hearted when she went. Tiny little bloke my dad was. By the time I was 6, I could lift him up and put him on top of the dresser if he annoyed me. Used to make him laugh. Hagrid's deep voice broke. Madame Maxime was listening, motionless, apparently staring at the silvery fountain. Dad raised me, but he died, of course, just after I started school. Sorta had to make my own way after that. Dumbledore was a real help mine. Very kind to me, he was. Hagrid pulled out a large spotted silk handkerchief and blew his nose heavily. So, anyway, enough about me. What about you? Which side you got it on? But Madame Maxime had suddenly got to her feet. It is chilly, she said. But whatever the weather was doing, it was nowhere near as cold as her voice. I think I will go in now. Eh? Said Hagrid blankly. No, don't go. I never met another one before. Another what, precisely? Said Madame Maxime, her tone icy. Harry could have told Hagrid it was best not to answer. He stood there in the shadows, gritting his teeth, hoping against hope he wouldn't. But it was no good. Another half-giant, of course, said Hagrid. How dare you! Shrieked Madame Maxime. Her voice exploded through the peaceful night air like a foghorn. Behind him, Harry heard Fleur and Roger fall out of their rose bush. I have never been more insulted in my life. Half-giant. Moi? I have big bones. She stormed away. Great multicolored swarms of fairies rose into the air as she passed, angrily pushing aside bushes. Hagrid was still sitting on the bench, staring after her. It was much too dark to make out his expression. Then, after a minute, he stood up and strode away, not back to the castle, but off out into the dark grounds in the direction of his cabin. Come on, Harry said, very quietly to Ron. Let's go. But Ron didn't move. What? What's up? Said Harry, looking at him. Ron looked around at Harry, his expression very serious indeed. Did you know, he whispered, about Hagrid being half-giant? How could you not know? I feel like that was obvious. No, said Harry, shrugging. So what? He knew immediately from the look Ron was giving him that he was once again revealing his ignorance of the wizarding world. Brought up by the Dursleys, there were many things the wizards took for granted that were revelations to Harry. But these surprises had become fewer with each successive year. Now, however, he could tell that most wizards would not have said so what, upon finding out that one of their friends had a giantess for a mother. I'll explain inside, said Ron quietly. Come on. Fleur and Roger Davies had disappeared, probably into a more private clump of bushes. Harry and Ron returned to the great hall. Parvati and Padma were now sitting at a distant table with a whole crowd of Beauxbaton's boys, and Hermione was once more dancing with Crumb. Harry and Ron sat down at a table far removed from the dance floor. So, Harry prompted Ron, what was the problem with giants? Well, Ron struggled for words. Not very nice, he finished lamely. Who cares? Harry said. There's nothing wrong with Hagrid. I know there isn't, but blimey, no wonder he keeps it quiet, Ron said, shaking his head. I just thought he got it in the way of a bad engorgement charm when he was a kid or something. Didn't like to mention it. But what's it matter if his mother was a giantess? Said Harry. Well, No one who knows him will care, 'cause they'll know he's not dangerous, said Ron slowly. But, Harry, they're just vicious giants. It's like Hagrid said. It's in their natures. They're like trolls. They're just like killing. Everyone knows that. There aren't any left in Britain now, though. What happened to them? Well, they were dying out anyway, and then loads got themselves killed by auras. They're supposed to be giants abroad, though. They hide out in mountains, mostly. I don't know who Maxime thinks she's kidding, Harry said, watching Madame Maxime sitting alone at the judge's table, looking very somber. If Hagrid's half giant, she definitely is. Big bones. The only thing that's got bigger bones than her is a dinosaur. Harry and Ron spent the rest of the ball discussing giants in their corner, neither of them having any inclination to dance. Harry tried not to watch Cho and Cedric too much. It gave him a strong desire to kick something. When the Weird Sisters finished playing at midnight, everyone gave them a last loud round of applause. It started to wend their way into the entrance hall. Many people were expressing the wish that the ball could have gone on longer, but Harry was perfectly happy to be going to bed. As far as he was concerned, the evening hadn't been much fun. Out in the entrance hall, Harry and Ron saw Hermione saying goodnight to Crumb before he went back to the Durmstrang ship. She gave Ron a very cold look and swept past him up the marble staircase without speaking. Harry and Ron followed her, but halfway up the staircase, Harry heard someone calling him. "Hey, Harry!" It was Cedric Diggory. Harry could see Cho waiting for him in the entrance hall below. "Yeah?" said Harry coldly as Cedric ran up the stairs toward him. Cedric looked as though he didn't want to say whatever it was in front of Ron, who shrugged, looking bad-tempered, and continued to climb the stairs. Oh man, this part in the movie is great. I quoted this for months when I first saw this. How are you? Spectacular. Listen, Cedric lowered his voice as Ron disappeared. I owe you one for telling me about the dragons. You know that golden egg? Does yours wail when you open it? Yeah, said Harry. Well, take a bath, okay? What? Take a bath and, take the egg with you and, just mull things over in the hot water. It'll help you think. Trust me. Are you coming on to me? He doesn't say that, obviously. Harry stared at him. Tell you what, Cedric said. Use the prefix bathroom. Fourth door on the left. That statue of Boris the Bewildered on the 5th floor. Password's Pine Fresh. Gotta go. Want to say goodnight. Yeah. He grinned at Harry again and hurried back down the stairs to Cho. Harry walked back to Gryffindor Tower alone. That had been extremely strange advice. Why would a bath help him to work out what the wailing egg meant? Was Cedric pulling his leg? Was he trying to make Harry look like a fool so Cho would like him even more by comparison? The fat lady and her friend Vi were snoozing in the picture over the portrait hole. Harry had to yell, "Fairy lights!" before he woke them up, and when he did, they were extremely irritated. He climbed into the common room and found Ron and Hermione having a blazing row. Standing 10 feet apart, they were bellowing at each other, each scarlet in the face. Well, if you don't like it, you know what the solution is, don't you? Yelled Hermione, her hair coming down out of its elegant bun now, and her face was screwed up in anger. Oh yeah, Ron yelled back. What's that? Next time there's a ball, ask me before someone else does, and not as a last resort. Ron mouthed soundlessly, like a goldfish out of water, as Hermione turned on her heel and stormed up the girls' staircase to bed. Ron turned to look at Harry. Well, he sputtered, looking thunderstruck. Well, that just proves... completely missed the point. Harry didn't say anything. He liked being back on speaking terms with Ron too much to speak his mind right now, but he somehow thought that Hermione had gotten the point much better than Ron had. Yay. Love that chapter. Okay. And next Saturday, we will read chapter 24, Rita Skeeter's Scoop. Okay, so we actually went over time a little bit. That took me... How did that take me an hour and 10 minutes to read? But that's okay. We still have a good 20 minutes to write some fan fiction, which is what we will do right now. Okay, so I've never done this before. Bear with me. I've never written on stream before. So it should be, hopefully, interesting. Okay. So I thought I would show you how it works. thought, yes, thought we would listen to some music while we do so. Sorry, I want to check something. Ambience. This should do it. Isn't that nice? Some nice relaxing music. I will keep it a little low for us though, so that YouTube doesn't get too angry with me. Okay, let me see if I can get this up. Where? Oh, Word. Yes, that's what I want. It should already be on my oh wait, no, I haven't even started it yet. So we're gonna have a brand new document. I was told that some streamers do this all the time, that they write on stream, and I was like, I never thought to do that. Thought I would show you my craft. Oh, that's loud. Okie dokie. I think we're all... oh, not yet. Okay. We're all set to write some fan fiction. Won't be doing this for too long. I'm going to move this. Okay. Alright, so the fan fiction is called In Your Shoes, and you can read this. I'm going to be writing chapter 3. You can read the prologue in chapters 1 and 2 on my Patreon, link in the description. It's completely free for everyone because it's fan fiction. I don't want to benefit financially from somebody else's intellectual property. Oh. Is this Deathly Hallows music? I wasn't expecting that. Let's do some double space here because it's a rough draft. So double space is a good idea for when you're doing a rough draft, so there's plenty of spaces in between. Usually what I do is I print out my rough draft, and I usually mark it with a blue pen for revising and a red pen for a blue pen for editing and a red pen for revising. But I actually don't do that with my fan fiction. I usually just put it on. I usually just do it on here, but out of habit and just because it's kind of nice, I'll go ahead and double space it. Because when you double space it, it leaves extra room to mark it, leave notes and stuff. I apologize for the shakiness of my computer because I am typing and using my desk, so it's going to move my camera a little bit. Okay. Okay, so chapter... oh, I should probably look at my chat. Okay. So, feel free to give me ideas and suggestions. I'm open to that. Even if you're watching this and it's no longer live, you can leave me suggestions in the comment section as well. Okay, so the last chapter, things are about to get a little tricky. Because now I actually have to think about it. So this fanfiction is about Harry and Draco swapping bodies. It's a very traditional fan fiction idea. It's been written many times. I'm not the first. But what's interesting about my writing is I am better than them. I am a better writer than anyone out there. No, that's not true. There's some really good fan fiction writers, but the thing about writing fan fiction is a lot of them aren't writers, or if they are writers, they're very amateur writers, and so they don't write very well, not very engaging. Not to say that I'm the best. I have ways that I need to improve as well, but I've been doing this for quite a long time. And so when I write, I'm going to write well. I'm going to use my talent and my skills so it's actually engaging and interesting and something that people actually want to read and is worth reading as well. It's not going to be just sexual smut that you see. It's not trashy. It's going to actually be engaging with character development and all those things, especially between Harry and Draco. I do intend for there to be character growth for both of them, and I'm really excited about it. Also, I've written this story before, but I have never published it because I never finished the rough draft of it, and it was years ago, and I no longer have the rough draft, so I'm kind of starting again anew. Okay, so we have started that. The first sentence should always be engaging and relevant. More importantly, for the very first sentence of the very first page of the very first chapter, and this is chapter 3, but still, I still like to use that rule. Okay, so in the last chapter, Harry and Draco, they just discovered that they've been swapped. They just ran into each other, and they're just like, "What did you do to me?" And it's like, "Me, I didn't do this, you did this." And they figured out, okay, something's going on here. And Peeves came by and actually dropped a potion bottle that revealed that they had both been slipped a switching body potion during dinner the night before. And according to the instructions on the bottle, they need to get along in order to switch back. And they can't tell anybody about it, because if they do, they could become like that permanently. And they don't want that. So, for the time being, Harry suggested that they both go about their day as normally as possible, keep their head down, and at the end of the day, they can reconvene and discuss and figure out what to do. So the bell just rang. I think it was the bell for classes. So I think breakfast is over, so they're going to go to class. So Draco is going to go to Charms class, and Harry is going to go to, I forget. Potions, Defense Against the Dark Arts. I don't know. We'll figure that out. I'm going to start with Draco because Draco is much more interesting to write about. Sad to say, not that I love Harry. Harry is my heart and soul, but the thing is, Draco is so much more interesting. Especially because he's gonna completely disregard the boundaries that Harry has set or will set. Harry intends to be a good boy. He intends to keep his head down, try to not bring attention to himself, whereas Draco does not care. He does not care about Harry's reputation. He's going to do whatever he feels like, which makes things a lot more interesting. So we're going to start with him. Okay, so first sentence is going to be, I don't know. And it's a rough draft, so sometimes it's not going to be very good. So sometimes you just need to blah onto the page. So, okay, first sentence. He is going to Charms class, and he's just going to follow Ron because Harry and Ron have all the same classes. Oh, that's right. They need to get dressed first. Draco quickly rushed up to Gryffindor Tower. Lame. We're not doing that. Oh, that's clever. Let's say Draco's Here, maybe I'll move my camera a little bit because I don't want it to jiggle quite so much. Can I? No, it's not working out great. Draco's stomach churned as he set foot into the Charms classroom in Harry's shoes. Because the story's called In Your Shoes, so it makes sense to start it out while Draco's walking in Harry's shoes. Draco's stomach turned as he set foot into the Charms classroom in Harry's shoes. He was late, of course. For he had to turn to He was late, of course, for he had to return to Gryffindor Tower to change clothes, because he was in his pajamas when he encountered Harry in the stairwell. Okay, why is my computer upset? Oh, it probably thinks it's possessive, a possessive noun. It isn't a possessive noun. It might even be capitalized, because I know Defense Against the Dark Arts is capitalized. At least I think it is. I always get confused. Some things in the Harry Potter books are capitalized and some things aren't, and it's always confusing as to which is which. But we will look at that during the revising stage. He was late, of course, for he had to return to Gryffindor Tower to change clothes. Thankfully, some late I don't know what year they're gonna be. Let's do, let me go to Google. Random number generator and see what year they're gonna be. First year? Okay. Some late first years. Wow, geez. Why is everything so blurry? Oh. There I am. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Thankfully, some late first years. Wow, getting a lot of Deathly Hallows music. It's unexpected. Thankfully, some late first years were rushing out of the portrait hole. For Draco didn't know the password to get in. Everyone stared at him as he entered the classroom full of seated students. Okay. Professor Flitwick scowled at him. He felt that people could see right through him. Draco felt Draco... I don't want to use a dead fur, but I might have to, just to keep it simple. Draco felt that everyone could see right through him. Everyone stared at him as he entered the classroom full of seated students. Draco felt that everyone could see right through him. I feel like that sounds terrible. I could use a simile. It was as if they could see right through him. Professor Flip scowled at him. Yeah, that's better. You're late, Mr. Potter. Sorry, Draco muttered. Still getting used to Harry's voice in his mouth. Which I like that. Still uncomfortable with Harry's voice in his mouth. Okay. Sorry, Draco muttered, still uncomfortable with Harry's voice in his mouth. At first he was unsure of where to sit because he's not used to being friends with Ron and Hermione. At first he was unsure of where to sit. I don't think we need this comma. At first he was unsure of where to sit. But Ron and Hermione caught his eye, and he remembered that he was supposed to be friends with them. They signaled for him to join them. Okay, signaled was misspelled. 1L? Okay. Oh, according to Microsoft Word, I do need a comma there. Okay, whatever. I think that's excessive when we overuse commas, but whatever. At first he was unsure of where to sit, but Ron and Hermione caught his eye, and he remembered that he was supposed to be friends with them. They signaled for him to join them. We already used the word scowled, didn't we? They need another word for scowled. Frowned is such a bad word. It just feels too simple. Like, sometimes a simple word is better, but I'm just like, ugh. Okay, let me go to... Thesaurus. Thesaurus.com. A very helpful writing resource. Ah, good. Some Half-Blood Prince music. One of the better soundtracks. Okay. We're gonna put scowled and see what they got. We have glare, glower, grimace, disapprove, gloom, lower, lower, look daggers at, make a face. I don't like any of those. Let's do... Oh, um, I want them to be a little confused as to why he didn't come to them immediately. Why is he looking for a place to sit? Like, he knows where they sit. And so I want them to be a little puzzled. And I'm trying to describe that. Here. They signaled for him to join them, puzzled at his hesitation. He sat down. Okay. Okay. Now, what's really important about characters, especially characters that have already been developed, any good writer knows that when your characters are real and authentic, they're going to talk for themselves. You don't write the character just exists. So I don't put words in their mouth, they speak on their own. So you imagine it like you're watching a movie and you have them speak for themselves. You imagine the story playing out in front of you. And so what are the characters saying in this situation? You let them talk and I just write down what they are saying instead of me making up what they're saying. Ugh. Yes, Window into the Past. This is such a good song. I played this on the flute way back when. Okay. I imagine Hermione saying this. Where were you? Whispered anxiously. No one said you were upset about something. How would Draco feel in this moment? He's like, ugh, why is she talking to me? Draco didn't want to answer. He didn't want to answer her. He hated being only a seat away from her. He's not in the best mood. Would he still respond to her in some way? Let's... Maybe he doesn't. I'm fine, Draco said curtly. I was afraid. Well, Ron started. Oh, you know what? We should make sure the audience realizes that Flip has started the lesson. Whispered anxiously as Flip started the lesson. Well. Oh, this is my favorite song. Oh, When Harry Kissed Ginny from Half-Blood Prince. Ah, this song is so beautiful. I have like a whole paragraph dedicated to this in my Harry Potter essay. which you can read on my Patreon if you'd like to. I was afraid... Wow, Ron started. He lowered his voice further. I thought maybe you had another dream. Because as we know, Harry likes to have these dreams. He hasn't had one in a while. This is Half-Blood Prince era, but, I mean, it could have happened. Alright. What? Draco was thoroughly confused. Draco was through. You know, about Voldemort. Oh, what would Draco say? Draco put out his dreams about Pokemon? Okay. And obviously they're going to be like, why are you referring to yourself in the third person? And like, whatever. But anyway, I think we're going to stop it there. Well, I'll save this. Where are you? There you are. All right. So, now is the time for my intermission. And when we get back to the, when we get back from my 15-minute intermission, we will play Hogwarts Legacy. Thank you so much for joining me thus far. I hope you're enjoying it. Please leave a like on the stream and leave a comment in the comment section. Click subscribe and turn on notifications so you can be notified the next time I go live. If you want to know what my streaming schedule is going to be, follow me on Twitter. Link in the description. Also in the description is my Patreon if you'd like to support me as a content creator. I also have short stories and essays and writing of all kinds on there. And I have free stuff on there as well, so you have no excuse not to check it out. I also have a TikTok and an Instagram if you'd like to follow me, also linked in the description. And I will be right back. Okay, so that was actually the incorrect screen. I was supposed to show the intermission one. But anyway, it still works. So welcome back. Okay, so before I get into the game, I just want to make a brief disclaimer. I kind of wrote down some things I forgot. Okay, so I realize that this game is quite controversial, that there's a good number of people who are quite upset about it, most notably the transgender community. And so it's possible that we'll get some not very nice people in the comments. So I just want to say that for transgender people specifically, that I am sorry for your pain, that I'm sorry that J.K. Rowling has hurt you, and I hate that you're in pain, and I don't mind you being on my channel. I have no issue with you being on my channel. In fact, you're welcome on my channel. Everybody's welcome on my channel. I want everybody to feel safe and welcomed and accepted here, so you certainly are. And I understand that you might not like me playing this game. I just want you to know that I'm not playing this game because I want to hurt you. I'm playing this game because I am able to separate the creator from the creation. And I feel like it would be a great disservice to the people who worked really hard in this game, because this game is beautiful. Like, I know that there's flaws behind it. I know there's flawed people behind it. But when you disregard something just because it has a flaw in it, just because it has somebody behind it with an opinion you don't like. You might as well throw out every good thing, because every good thing on this planet has somebody flawed behind it. And you might as well just cancel everything and everyone, because everything and every one of us is flawed in one way or another. And it would just be a huge disservice to the people, to the people who created this game and put their heart and their soul into it. And I want to honor them, because they did such a good job with this game, and it's not fair to them that the creator of the universe that they choose to work in is so disliked right now. If you do not want to support this game, and in turn don't want to support me because I support this game, that is totally okay. That is your prerogative. I want to live in a world where I, as the consumer, get to choose what I buy and what I don't buy, even on moral grounds. If you don't feel comfortable with it, that's perfectly fine. But as for me, I feel like it's morally okay for me to play, and my joy will not be taken from me. I can't be bullied. I'm just going to make a disclaimer right now. Anybody who might have not nice things to say to me in the comments, you're wasting your time, because I can't be bullied. I can't be convinced not to do this game. I've already encountered somebody who was not very nice to me, and they spoiled some things for me. One thing for me, actually, because the moment I realized it was a spoiler, I stopped reading. But anyway, it doesn't matter, because I'm still super excited to play this game. They can't take my joy from me, because I don't care about the story anyway. I'm there to go to Hogwarts, and there's nothing they can do to take it away from me. And I'm not going to spoil it for anyone else. So any mean comments will be taken down. But I will be very happy to pray for you if you do come to my stream and you do say mean things, because I am a Christian and we love people who hate us, and we pray for those who persecute us, and I'm happy to get that opportunity if it comes. In fact, I'm going to pray real briefly right now. And I apologize if this makes anybody uncomfortable. Not everybody who watches my channel is a Christian. That's totally okay. I'll make it brief, and some of it will just be talking directly to people who intend to harm me, and some of it will be directly to God. Anyway, first of all, I forgive you for intending to hurt me. I forgive you completely for trying to destroy me, for trying to take my joy. I forgive you. I completely remove any need for you to repent. I don't need it. I completely forgive you. I believe that you're completely worthy of love, no matter what opinion you have, because you are made by God and loved by Jesus Christ, and God loves you. I need you to know that God loves you and that he wants you exactly for who you are. Whether you're trans or not, he loves you exactly the way you are, that you are made on purpose, for a purpose. You're not a mistake. You're not a problem, and that you are so loved and so worthy of love, no matter what you've done. That the love and acceptance and security that you're so desperate to find can only be found in Jesus, and I hope you know this. And I prophesy over you that your heart will be softened towards the Holy Spirit and the ways of God right now. And I command your dry bones to come alive right now in the name of Jesus. And I bless you. And I ask the Holy Spirit to go with you and to bless you on your way. And that you would have peace and joy. And that nothing but good things would come to you. And thank you so much for choosing to come to me. Because if you come to me, I'm going to treat you well. And it's going to benefit you rather than harm you, like it might if you go to anyone else. If somebody does come to the stream and say not nice things, I will remove their comment, but I will still treat them with love and respect, and I might even pray for them and speak the gospel to them. And either way, I win, because Either they'll hear the gospel and be changed, or they'll get annoyed and leave. So either way, I win. So it's quite exciting. Okay, so now that I'm done saying those things, we are going to play Hogwarts Legacy. And like I said, I've already played the first, like the first 30 minutes of it. And I've watched other people play the first hour of it because I couldn't resist. But I haven't seen Hogwarts yet, so that hasn't happened yet. So that hasn't been spoiled for me. But while I am doing my character creation and everything, I want to share to you how I came about this game. Because this game is actually a gift from God. And you can believe whatever you want to. That is my firm belief. And this is why. Why isn't the game starting? Come on. Come on, Steam. Oh, is it loading? It might be loading. The camera's covering up the box there. Come on, game. There we go. Okay. I already started, so I'm gonna have to start a new game or whatever. Can you guys see that? Warning, read before playing. No? Why isn't it? Why doesn't it show on the screen? Oh, come on. Don't do this to me. How could this happen to me? Oh, the music. I love the music. It's so exciting. Can you guys hear that? You can hear the music, but you guys can't see the warning. And I don't know why. It's an epilepsy warning. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why you guys can't see that. Oh, Jesus, please make this work. It was working fine yesterday. We'll see what it does when the game actually loads. But I came about this game because, well, some of you would know, I talk about it a little bit, not very much, but I'm actually kind of financially struggling right now. Money's really tight. My rent is going up, and my benefits are running out, and all kinds of awful things. I was convinced that I wasn't going to be able to get the game, at least not for a while. So I kind of resolved that I probably wouldn't get it. So one day, last week, I was getting ready for work. And I was wearing my Harry Potter jewelry that day. So I put on my Hogwarts wristband in the morning. And the moment I put it on, I heard a whisper, because God speaks to me. And he said to me, "You're going to be glad that you put that on today." And I was like, okay, interesting. Wonder what's going to happen today. But I went to work, and I didn't really think about it. And so I was working the customer service desk, and a customer and his friend came up to me. They were going to purchase something that you can only purchase at customer service. And he saw my wristband. Oh, come on. What are you doing? What are you doing? Alright, let's restart this. Come on. Yes. Confirm. I don't know what's happening. Play. Please. New DLC is launched. Has been added to my account. Oh, it's probably the hippogriff thing? Maybe? Come on, game. You can do it. I believe in you. It says it's running. We shall see. Okay, there's the warning again that OBS can't see for some reason. Okay, that was faster than normal. There's the music. Come on. I really don't want to tell the story and then it turns out the game isn't working. That would be really sucky. But anyway, this customer, he saw my wristband and he was like, oh, you're a Harry Potter fan. Are you going to play the game? And I said, I really want to, but I can't afford it. And he said, oh, I'll buy the game for you. I was like, what? You're a complete stranger. You don't know me. And I was like, are you serious? He's like, yeah. I'll buy the game. I'll buy the game for you. How much is it? And I was like, $50. It's actually $60, but and he was like, yeah, sure. And he gave me $50 to buy the game. I was like, are you serious? I can't believe this. And he's like, every Harry Potter fan deserves to play this game. And I was just like, there's no way he could know that for the past few months I've been praying for God to give me this game. And then this absolute stranger with no idea about me just gives me the money for it. And I just have a hard time believing that that's not God, you know? And now, dear Jesus, please run the game. Because that'd be really, really terrible for me to tell that story and for me to just not be able to play the game. Because the game started perfectly fine yesterday. I don't know why it's not starting today. The music is running and everything. I just don't know why it's not playing. Come on, game. I can't even see my mouse anymore. It's locked in the other monitor, so. Oh, great. Come on. You can do it. I remember yesterday it had to load the shadows or whatever. And it was a while for it to do that. Dear Jesus, please make this game work. Please, please, please. Big preach. In the name of Jesus, I command this game to work. Right now. I wonder if it would help to uninstall it and reinstall it, but that would be such a pain because it would take forever. Oh my goodness! Oh, it's doing something! It's doing things, and you guys can't see that it's doing things. That's really concerning. Oh, you can see it! Yay! Thank you, Jesus! Yay! Okay, good. Good. Alright, preparing shaders. Depending on your hardware, this may take a few minutes. Please wait for the process to complete. We did this yesterday. Why does it have to do it again? Maybe because I started a new game. Maybe. I don't know. But then it didn't do it when I started the new game. I don't know. I have nowhere to be. I can stream as late as I want to. Well, I guess not really. I do have church in the morning. But it's not till 10, so it's not a big deal. No big deal. It's going pretty fast. Isn't it beautiful? And that's my name at the bottom. I want to use my controller, please. Pretty please. Okay, that's my character that I made yesterday. If you would like to see my creation of that character, I'm going to start over to go through the character customization. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. Why? Come on. I want... There we go. If you want to see my initial reaction to everything, you can... I live streamed my stream test yesterday, and you can find it on my channel to see how I reacted to everything. But we're going to do a new character. Hopefully it'll let me use my same name. Because I want to go through that process again. Alright, Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. We are pleased to inform you that you have been accepted at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry as a 5th year student. Term begins on 1st of September. Preliminary supplies have been collected for you and will accompany you on your journey to the castle. As you may be aware, the decree for the reasonable restriction of underage sorcery prohibits the use of magic by those under the age of 17 outside school. However, due to your unique circumstances, the Ministry has graciously agreed to allow Professor Eleazar Fig to help you hone your spell casting before escorting you from London to the castle for the start of term feast and the sorting ceremony. Yours sincerely, Professor Weasley, Deputy Headmistress. So, a Weasley used to be a Deputy Headmistress in the 1800s. Also, Professor Eleazar Fig, I wonder if he's related to Arabella Fig, Harry's squib neighbor, when he lived on Privet Drive. Did not think of that at the time. Okay, this is the best part, in my opinion. Making your own character. Okay, so they have a lot of different ethnicities and skin colors and all kinds of things. I'm gonna go with the whitest person there is. I am a white person. Okay, now face shape. Face shape can be a little tough, and you guys can see everything. Perfect. So I want to make it look as authentic as possible, which can be a little tricky. I don't think any of them look exactly like me, which is pretty fair. That one's actually pretty good. Except, I'm pretty sure my face is rounder than that. She's very pretty, though. Can pretty much use any of them. But I'm gonna go with this one, because I feel like it's the closest to me. It's not quite right. I think the face shape is a little small, and all the features are a little too close together. But it has a round essence to it, and I feel like that's closest to my face. Alright, my skin color. All the way to the left. As white as it can be. And no glasses. All right, hairstyles are fun. Okay, so I had quite a while looking at them. I think that one's really nice. I think this one's really nice too. And I was also thinking what I might want to do at some point in the game is I might want to change what my character looks like. Might want to change my hair so that, because you can go to a salon in Hogsmeade. Oh, did I already look at these? I already looked at those. But for now, I really want the character to look exactly like me, the way I do now, instead of kind of the way I wish I looked, you know? I like this one a lot. I wish my hair looked like that. It doesn't look like that though. Not naturally anyway. Okay. Oh, that's nice. That's cute. But we're gonna go with, actually, where is it? We're gonna go with this one. Because my hair is usually up in a ponytail. I think it looks a lot like me. I feel like I was gonna say something else too. I also think it looks like Belle's hair from Beauty and the Beast. She wears her hair like that. And yeah, so that's also encouraging. Okay, look at all these different colors you can do. We have like pretty normal colors, but then you also have these fun colors. I love the purple they have in here. I love that purple color, and I would love to change my hair to that color at some point in the game. But for now, oh, look at that. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, I love it. But for now, I'm going to do it natural to my hair color, which is a dark brown. Which is gonna be this one, I think. I think that's the one I originally had. My hair is a pretty dark brown. It's a little lighter towards the bottom because I dyed my hair, but towards the top of my roots, it's actually pretty dark. So we're gonna go with the darkish one. This one? Yeah, we're gonna go with that. Okay, so complexion. I actually didn't look at this when, first of all, I'm gonna get rid of the freckles and stuff. I don't want any of that. Oh, interesting. Okay, so let's be a little more generous. You know, I'm second guessing the color of my hair. Maybe the color should be a little lighter. I don't know, should it? I can't really tell. I feel like that hair's a little too dark. So let me go back and make it a little lighter. Like this, maybe? This? I feel like there's too much gray in that. This? No, that's too light. I can't decide. No. Maybe this one? I can't decide. I can't decide. Okay. Let me just look at the complexion. I don't know what I want to do for complexion, really. I might just want standard. That might be fine. I don't know if I really care all that much. And then scars and markings. No, we won't be doing that. Alright, eye color. So her eye color is actually My eye color is actually that right there. Jacob, hi. Can you ask me something? You certainly can. As long as it's friendly and nice. Okay, let's see. Oh. Which one? Oh, actually, that's kind of accurate. Let's see. Eyebrow color. We want it to match, but at the same time, I'm still not sold on that color. Let's see. What are bouncy castles? That's your question? Bouncy castles are... I don't know why you're asking this. Bouncy castles are these blow-up playgrounds. They're like a castle that you blow up and kids bounce inside them. I don't know why you're asking that, but I'm happy to answer that. Oh. Did my controller do that thing that it does? Yes. There we go. Okay. Okay. Maybe I should change her hair color before I decide the eyebrow color. Because I'm not quite sold on the color. I can't remember what I did last time. That's too red. Maybe we'll go with that. I don't know. I can't remember. I can't remember what color I went with. Maybe we'll just go with that. We'll just go with that. Stop being so indecisive. Okay, so I think that eyebrow color is pretty good too. And I think I decided on the default for eyebrows. Do I like bouncy castles? It's been a while since I've been in one, but sure. I kind of like those eyebrows because they make her look kind of serious. You know what? I think I'm going to go with that. I think I'm going to go with that. I think I'm going to stop being so choosy. We're going to go with voice 2 because voice 2 is the feminine one.
That was quite something.
And we're going to go with the middle one. I think she looks a lot like me. It just tickles me so. Alright, and we're going to go with normal. A balanced gameplay challenge. And normally I would put Phoenix Jenny as my name, but it's really important to me that I have my name because it's important that I, myself personally, go to Hogwarts. So, and I'm a witch, and I'm ready to start my journey. Here we go.
It appears we are almost ready to depart. It's a pity we
Would you
didn't
jump
have a
in
bit more time to
bouncy
spend on
castles
spellcasting. I
with
presume
me?
You've been practicing the spells.
I don't know.
all
I
day.
don't know
have,
you very
Professor.
well.
Well, I'm quite sure I've never
Maybe.
seen anyone take so quickly to a second-hand wand. You'll be a force to be reckoned with when you get your own.
Thank you, Professor Fig. I appreciate you working with me before the term begins.
I hope the sound is okay.
Eleazar!
George!
Seemed to be okay.
Glad my
when I
rather
tested it
cryptic
yesterday.
description of our location did not thwart your finding us.
I've apparated to more vaguely defined destinations than this. Though I confess I may have miscalculated slightly on my first try. Gave quite the fright to some theatre-goers in the West End.
Oh, I'm gonna turn this up for me.
It's been much too long. When I received your owl, I must say I...
Best not speak here, Eleazar.
Of course. Why don't we speak en route to Hogwarts? We have a start-of-term feast and a sorting ceremony to get to.
Wonderful idea! As long as your young charge here doesn't mind me tagging along.
Not at all, sir.
After you.
Ages since I'd been to the castle. Would be good to see the old pile of rocks.
Alright. So now the missing horse is not a glitch. it's a thestral, so you can't see it unless you've seen death. And what I didn't notice the first time is that there's going to be a guy that's going to appear down on the right and the left there. Ooh, mysterious. Things happen. Okay, this part is really, really cool. Yes! I'm having trouble seeing your comment because my comment screen window is a little small. And while I'm in a cutscene, I can't move my mouse. With the bouncy castle bounce, I assume you said when we jump in it. Yes.
Just
It would
barely.
move.
And who is your traveling companion?
I don't think the
New
actual
student.
castle bounces, but
New?
it moves.
Yes,
you know, 'cause there's people
I'm
moving
starting
inside
school
it.
as a 5th year.
How extraordinary.
It is indeed. None of the faculty has ever heard of anyone being admitted to Hogwarts so late.
Nor have I.
Which I think is weird.
Of course, as the other
Starting in the
fifth
middle
years
of
will
the
have been
school year,
honing
that
their
sounds
magical
very
skills
fan
for 4
fiction-y
years
to
now,
me.
the headmaster asked
But
if I could get our new
It's so that we
student
can
up to
be
speed
of a
bit
reasonable
before the
age.
term
I'd rather play
begins.
the 5th year than as 1st
Well,
year, for sure.
you couldn't have asked for a better mentor. Professor Fig is not only an exceptional
Oh,
teacher,
that's
he's also a remarkably intuitive and gifted wizard.
Mr. Osric is prone to flattery. I dare say it's one of the reasons he's risen so far at the ministry.
Have you seen this?
I have. Opinions differ as to how great a threat Ranrock really
And I apologize
is.
if the cutscene
Although
stutters
I've
a
yet
little
to convince
bit.
my colleagues
It's
at the
actually
ministry, I believe he is a significant
pretty common for PC,
threat.
but it's usually just the
And
cutscenes as
it
far as
was
I've
your
seen that stutter
wife,
a little bit.
Eleazar,
When we jump
who
in.
alerted
Yeah,
me
that's
to
what
his
he said.
activities
Okay.
months ago.
Miriam? How?
She wrote to me about Ranrock before she died, wondering what the ministry knew about his activities. Before I could respond, I received this. It was the last thing she sent me, Eleazar. It came to me via her owl, but with no correspondence. I can only assume
That she had to get rid of it quickly to keep it safe.
presumably from Ranrock.
Why? I wonder why
cannot
she
open it.
sent it to this
Whatever
guy.
magic
What
protects
makes
this
guy
is
special?
powerful indeed.
It looks like goblin metal.
It
That
would be.
symbol.
What's the glow?
I don't see a glow.
See, my character
Nor
can
do
see a
I.
glow because my character has a special ability, as we'll discover.
Merlin's beard. How did you...
Wait!
How did
We
you
do
know it was a And because she just witnessed someone dying, now she can see festivals. Which I think is a wonderful detail. See, how do you know it was a portkey? That's my question.
The key! Give me your hand!
You lost your two best... Jacob, you lost your two best friends in high school. I'm so sorry about that. I couldn't imagine if my two best friends died. I'm still, connected. I'm still in contact with my two best
Are you
friends in high
alright?
school. And I couldn't imagine.
You're hurt.
Perhaps a bit.
Take this. It's Wiggenweld potion.
Wiggenweld
That
potion.
stuff will right you in a second.
Yeah, Wiggenweld potion is something you learn how to make in the old Harry Potter games. I want to use this, please. I want to use my controller, please. I think it's this bit. Come on. Ugh, it's so annoying. There we go.
What happened?
Poor George. I can't believe he... What the hell
You
got
miss
into
your
that
two friends
damn
that
thing?
passed away? Any
Attacking
advice?
a carriage mid-air?
Ooh. Any
A
advice?
typical dragon would never.
Professor? Sir,
That's a tough one.
I'm not sure. But that key you discovered was clearly a port key.
port key.
An item enchanted to bring whoever touches it to a specific place.
Well,
I'm feeling better, sir. If you'd like to look around a bit.
I would. But stay close.
I
We've
would,
no idea who created this
if
port
it,
key.
really
or
upsets you,
why.
I would suggest counseling or talking about it to someone you trust. I myself am a Christian, and so what I would do is I would, oh wow, she's moving on her own. I would speak to my God about it, and he would comfort me in my
How
sadness.
far did that
I don't know
port key
what your
take
beliefs
us?
are, but
Farther from
I suggest
London than
talking
the
about
carriage
it, especially
travelled.
to a professional.
We're
and they
somewhere
can
in
really
the
help you
Scottish
with that sort of thing.
Highlands.
Sir, those ruins. Do you
The
think...
port key was meant to lead us there? I do. This has not been the day either of us expected. But Miriam sent that port key to George for a reason. And I believe that she, and now George, died in pursuit of whatever it was meant to lead to. If you're sure you're all right and wouldn't mind indulging me,
I
I'd
want
like
to be
to have a look
indulged.
around.
Forget
Absolutely,
you.
sir.
Good. Let's see if we can find a path, however faded it may be.
Okay. Oh.
Mind your step.
Is there something? Oh, I forget. Let's go.
Where do you suppose your wife got the port key that brought us here?
A good question. Miriam spent years searching for evidence of a long-forgotten form of ancient magic.
Ancient magic?
Yes, a powerful magic wielded by a rare few that seems to have been lost to time.
This game is so pretty.
Hogwarts Castle was built by, and is itself a stronghold of that ancient magic.
Okay.
I don't know where she came into possession of the port key, but I am certain it was to do with that search. Ah, there's the path down below. This way.
Alright, let's go.
But sir,
you-
why was your wife searching for evidence of lost magic?
Miriam wanted to understand why such powerful magic disappeared from the wizarding world.
Huh.
Spoke of the good it could do. But magic is no different than any power.
Ah,
What really matters is the one who wields it.
that makes sense. Ooh, fancy.
Is that ice?
It's not cold enough here. It appears to be a sort of enchantment. Someone wanted to block this path. Let's see some of that wand work you were practicing. Focus on the center.
Alright, basic cast, new spell unlocked. RT, right trigger, to perform right trigger. Okay. Tap it. To perform, that's right trigger, yeah. Okay. How do I do? Oh, you tap it, gotcha. I was holding it for some reason.
Excellent!
Okay. Use your camera, the right joystick, to select an active target. Some players prefer to select targets and move the avatar with the same thumbstick by disabling camera relative targeting in settings. So select targets and move the avatar with the same thumb. Okay. Oh, you have to hold it. Okay. Whoa!
That was a bit rougher than I'd expected.
Water! Yes!
Your one work's improving with every cast.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Why do bouncy houses bounce? Because they're full of air.
Ah, up there.
Oh. Okay. How am I... What? I call bullshit on that. Okay, I happen to know there's a chest over here with monies inside. I want it.
We're close now. It's just ahead.
This is so cool.
Steady yourself. Reparo! Almost there.
Would you hold hands in bouncy house with me for
Why
fun?
would someone have built this here?
I suspect they
Maybe.
valued their privacy. That portkey led us here for a
I don't
reason.
know how
Let's have a look
great
around
it
for
would be to
anything
hold
that
hands with
seems
somebody while bouncing.
out of place.
The mini map shows your surroundings with your purple arrow in the middle. This yellow arrow is your current objective. Press and hold this button to toggle quest objective details. Okay. Oh, the path to Hogwarts. Professor Fig and I have traveled via Portkey to remote cliffside in the Scottish Highlands. We need to explore the mysterious ruins that we suspect the Portkey was meant to lead us to. Okay. I don't think I needed that. Should I break all the pots? I need to show these pots who's boss. Watch out. Watch out. Ooh.
Professor, this statue...
This may have been his home.
Maybe. Ooh, can we go over here?
That enchanted crystallized stone again. But what could it be blocking?
Ooh.
What's this? Professor Fig!
I found something. He's coming.
How odd. Why would someone have conjured that enchanted stone here?
And how is there a room behind it?
What room? I don't see
Can't
anything.
see it. Only we can.
There's that glow again, like the glow on the portkey container.
What in Merlin's name?
Wake the goblin.
Godric's heart.
Where are we?
I don't believe it.
We're in Gringotts. Are there any collectibles or secrets? Probably don't want to break his stuff.
Hello?
be? Just a moment. Ooh. Anything here?
Welcome to Gringotts Wizarding Bank. Vault number 12, I presume.
Yep, sure.
Precisely.
The key?
Your wife's portkey.
Oh, yes, of course.
This way, then.
Stay close.
This would be so fun. This is what the ride at Universal should have been like.
After you.
It's kind of like this, but I feel like I wish it was more roller coaster like.
Keep your hands inside the cart if you don't wish to lose them.
I'd hold on to something.
How many vaults are there in Gringotts?
Hundreds. In fact, you'll see quite a few on our way to vault number 12. As we speak, we're just beneath the main lobby. The vaults you see now are the newest.
Are private entrances to the bank common at Gringotts?
They are most uncommon. Only one with great wealth or power, or both, could have arranged for such a service.
This would be so fun.
You'll want to take a breath.
Oh,
The
what?
Thief's Downfall.
That waterfall washes away all enchantments. It's a security measure.
Experienced the thief's downfall before, have you?
Heard of it?
These are the lower vaults that we're passing now.
How deep are we going?
Vault number 12 was commissioned shortly after Gringotts was founded over 4 centuries ago. It resides in the deepest part of the bank. Settle in. We've quite a distance to go.
Vault number.
Vault 12. Momentous day.
On your way.
What kind of bouncy house can we jump in? I don't know. What kinds are there?
Professor, the armband that guard was wearing was glowing.
Oh,
Like the glow you saw on the portkey
I wasn't paying
container.
attention.
No, darker. I saw that same glow on the dragon's collar.
Yeah, what was that? We were just wondering about that goblin back there.
He watches over the oldest section of the bank. Rare anyone goes there anymore.
Here we are.
Oh, I heard some Hedwig's theme in the music.
When was the last time this vault was accessed?
A goblin has been stationed at my desk for hundreds of years.
Okay, I
In
think
that
there's a
time,
chest
no one has visited
somewhere
Vault
around
12 until today.
here. Yup. Duh! Excuse you! I was in the middle of... You better not make me go in now. I was trying to get a chest.
12.
How rude.
Thank you for your help.
Oh, man. Okay, good. I was about to say. Alright. When will I do the bouncy house live
suppose we should
stream?
be looking for?
I'm not
When
sure.
I have enough money to have
Sir,
to buy a
I
bouncy
wonder
house.
if you might-
Instructions for Vault 12 indicate that I am to grant access to the holder of the key and then close the door.
Wait.
Best of luck.
Professor?
That was certainly unexpected. Let me think. There must be something here. Revelio, perhaps.
Revelio?
Yes, a revealing charm. No time like the present. Let's see what we're missing, shall we? Ready your wand and focus.
Ooh. Got it.
Revelio. There! I saw something.
Move a bit closer and try again.
Ooh, fancy door.
A door.
Well, that's a start. There's that symbol again. I don't suppose you see a way to...
I do, Professor. That symbol has the same glow as the one I saw in the portkey container.
If what you can see reveals the way forward, then I dare say we are about to discover the secret of this vault. Lead the way.
It's late. It's late for me.
Lumos! This is no ordinary vault. I suspect we will need to earn our way out of here.
What do you mean, earn our way out? Do you think this is some sort of test?
I do. But to what end, I can't say. Stay close. There will be no disapparating if things go poorly. Not out of Gringotts.
There are hidden chests. I don't want to miss them. Pretty sure.
I see something up ahead.
What is it?
That glow again, but on the floor.
Lumos! What happened?
When I moved towards the glow, it suddenly seemed as if the ground was swirling about.
Are you all right?
Yes, sir, I'm fine.
You seem to have caused the floor to change.
That statue.
What statue?
I see some sort of statue, but only as a reflection in the floor. Revelio.
I presume this is what you saw reflected in the floor.
It is. The reflection's still there, but the
That's
statue's
wrong.
positions don't match.
It
Wait,
changes with your
when
light.
you moved, the reflection turned in the direction of the light.
Perhaps you should cast Lumos.
Alright, Lumos. You've acquired the wand lighting charm Lumos, which has automatically been slotted to your spell set. Lumos creates a light at the tip of your wand to help you see in dark areas. Hold right trigger and tap Y to cast or extinguish. Okay, hold.
Lumos.
Well done.
Now the reflection is turning towards me. It does follow the light.
It's just like the statues at Hogwarts. Oh, why?
Potato!
Quick time event.
Defendo. Levioso. Depose. Depose. Levioso. Perfect control.
Ooh.
Exposo. Defendo. Levioso. Confronto.
Objectives to reveal the way forward. Thanks. What? Man, I feel like I can't move that. Oh, I can change the change this. Back up. Back up. Ooh, this is harder than it looks. Oh my gosh, I know. I probably don't know. No, come on. Why do I suck? No, not that one. The closer one. Oh my gosh. Why does it keep telling me to do that? Stop. I don't care. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Your journey has ended. Do I have to start all over? This is harder than it looks. Hint. Revelio will clearly highlight nearby enemies, interactive elements, and containers. Even through walls, it will also hint at the location of nearby Revelio pages. I can't like move fast enough. I don't have a... No! Potato. I can't like control the camera and my movements and shoot at the same time. Spam hitting my spells. Stop moving forward. Stay back so you can see them all. Stop moving closer. Oh, stop with the stupid hints, please. Hit the closer ones. Hit the closer ones. Potato. What? Oh my gosh, this is impossible. Oh my goodness. That's a lot of retracted comments. Alright. This shouldn't be this hard. Oh my goodness. Oh, why? How do they... Not that one, this one. Not that one. This one, Tego. Not that one. This. Oh my gosh. I can't aim very well. Oh my gosh. Not that one. This one. Tego. Oh,
Levioso. Confringo. Levioso. Expulso.
where the
Diffindo. Confringo. Levioso. Protego. Dipulso. Expulso. Confringo. Levioso. Expulso. Levioso. Expulso. Depose. Confringo.
Alright, I think we're doing good. I think I'm doing better than I was.
Descendo. Depose. Expulso.
Come on, no way.
Levioso.
Come on, let's get him.
Confringo. Depose. Confringo. Confringo. Levioso. Expulso. Confringo.
I think we're getting to the end of it.
Descendo. Expulso. Expulso. Confringo. Depulso.
Come on, get him. Protego.
Levioso. Confringo. Levioso.
Alright, good? Did we do it? I think we did it. Whew!
Stay close.
Okay, close. I'm right here. And he's gone.
Professor? Professor Fig? Professor, where are you? This isn't good.
Alright, so, hold Y.
Lewis, where am I supposed to go? Revelio. What's happening?
Oh, whoops.
The wisps of magic seem to be leading me somewhere.
Okay.
Revelio. Lumos.
Alright. Monies.
Revelio.
Anybody else? No?
Lumos.
Wisps of magic. Oh, there's just I spy with my widow eye a chest. Dry bouncy house. I don't even know what you're talking about. You can jump in dry bouncy house. Are there wet bouncy houses? There are water ones, actually, now that I think about it.
Oh, that's where they're leading me. That glow again.
My neighbors are being loud. Oh, I don't want to do this by myself. Please don't make me do this by myself.
Revelio. I suppose I'm on my own this time.
That spell always makes me think of
Lumos.
Hermione in Deathly Hallows. When she sees if there are people in Growing Place. Watch out. I don't know if I want these things to come alive, you know?
I need to align these statues with their reflections.
Yeah. Okay, bye. I don't want to play. I don't want to play anymore. Oh, they have to... I need to align them all at once. Alright. Yes, there are white
no choice.
Yeah, I thought so.
I'm going to have to fight my way out of here.
Leave me alone. Tego! Oh, I did it. Is that it? Okay. Hold Y during Protego to stun enemies with a Stupefy counterattack. Stunned enemies take extra damage indicated by gold numbers. Okay. So. I can't turn the camera fast enough. It says to do it. Not Lumos. I'm sorry! Alright, I'm running. Bye! I'm running! Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Oh shoot, there's one right there. I don't know. It says hold Lumos. I don't know how to do Stupefy. Hold Protego, Y, Stupefy counter. I don't know. I kind of like wet. I kind of like wet bounty houses, to be honest. Hold Y during Protego to stun enemies. Hold Y. So you have to press Protego and then hold Y. Okay. Okay. Oop, oop. No. There we go. Oh, this is so hard! I wanna go home! This is so hard! Tego. Oh my gosh. Tego. Wish I had a sprint button. And I wish I could run and shoot. Oh my gosh, this is impossible. Oh my god! Stop! Tego. Tego, hold. Tego, hold. Tego, hold. No, that's Lumos. Protego. Oh my gosh, this is too hard. Oh, this is too hard. Hold Y during Protego. So you click Y and then you hold it. Click Y, hold it. No. Click Y, hold it. No! So I did it that time.
Stupefy.
I did it that time.
Stupefy.
I did it that time. Maybe there's a cooldown for it?
Stupefy.
Let's me again. did it. Get out of here. Right?
Lumos.
Oh my gosh, that was annoying. I'm so glad that's over. Oh, I'm so glad that's over. That was not fun.
Revelio.
Okay. What do you wear in wet bouncy houses? Bathing suits? Duh.
Lumos.
Oh, jeez.
Revelio. Protego.
Not Protego. Not Protego. My goodness. That is so confusing. Hold down left trigger to sprint. Hold down L. Oh. No. Left. What? Are wet bouncy houses hard to jump in? I have no idea. Usually wet bouncy houses aren't for jumping. Usually they're like water slides and stuff. But I don't know. Okay.
Revelio.
Oh man, that was so difficult. I have a feeling I'm not gonna like the combat in this game.
There you are. How did you... What is this place?
I don't know. But I found this floating above that basin.
If you had a wet bouncy house, would I
That is
jump in
no
it
mere
with you?
basin.
Sure, why not?
That is a pensive
A pensée.
for viewing memories. I wonder...
Oh.
Follow my lead.
I love how it looks exactly the way it does in the movies. They did a really good job.
All is in place.
The portkey is well hidden.
Perhaps too
Rookwood.
well. I wonder if the path
As in
we've
relative of
created-
Augustus Rookwood?
Maybe impossible to follow.
The Death Eater?
It will only be impossible for one who cannot see traces of ancient magic as I can.
Your ability to see what others cannot will not be enough, Percival. We are entrusting the one who embarks on this path with powerful secrets, with knowledge others will do anything to obtain.
Yes, and if we are correct, Charles, the ritual wizard who completes the trials will have proven themselves worthy of that knowledge. And the responsibility that accompanies it.
We've done all that we can.
That's what you're seeing. The glow that surrounded them.
Yes, sir.
Astonishing.
Can I see magic?
Traces of an ancient magic, to be precise. The magic that Miriam had always believed existed, but could never. Miriam, and perhaps George, died in pursuit of knowledge that has been dormant for centuries. And you, it seems, are the key to understanding why. We were...
It all looks rather different than it did a moment ago.
Someone's coming.
Who were they?
I don't know. But, sir, you shouldn't be in here.
I was right. Ranrock. Seems my reputation precedes me. I was beginning to think no one was ever going to visit Rackham's vault.
And why are you here?
No need for that. Just give me whatever it is you found here and we can let bygones be bygones.
No.
Sir, they had the key to the vault.
Would I hold hands in
Choose
what
your
bouncy
next
house with
words
you?
wisely.
Maybe after getting to know you.
I only meant that
Who knows?
the instructions to Vault 12 were quite clear. Sir, I must insist. I was to grant access only to one with the key, and you didn't have
I have no patience for traitors. Now, where were we?
I'm not giving you anything.
Well, perhaps your young friend here will be more helpful.
I'm not fighting. No way.
No way out.
I'm just glad I didn't have to do anything.
Are you all right?
Fine, sir.
I've never seen so powerful a goblin. He seemed wholly unaffected by my magic.
Because he hasn't dealt with me yet.
Are we?
Not
It
yet.
can't be.
I'm still learning, so we'll wait
It
for
seems
that.
those who set up the pensive, the locket, and the path to
locket.
both wanted someone with your ability
I guess he means the container
to end up here.
with the key in it.
Come. We have a sorting ceremony to get to.
Yay! I'm so excited. Have you ever been to a convenient the bouncy house before? Are you missing a word? Because convenient isn't a noun, it's an adjective. Yay! I haven't seen this bit yet. It's so beautiful. Yay! That's different. No? Oh, good. Scared me. Don't scare me like that. All right. I'm ready. little stuttery. It's okay.
Oh, good. We haven't missed the sorting ceremony. I'm no expert, but that seems more appropriate.
Thank
Now,
you.
I need to study this locket as soon as I can, but first I must contact the Ministry.
Okay.
They need to know what happened to George and be warned of Ranrock.
Gotcha.
For the moment, I ask that you keep all that's happened this evening between you and me.
Of course,
Cool.
sir.
Because I don't have
Thank you.
friends, so I have nobody to tell anyway.
Ready for the sorting ceremony?
I am more than ready.
Phineas, Nigellus, Black.
No! Oh my god, Phineas Black is gonna be my headmaster! Oh my god!
Nice of you to join us.
I'm a huge fan.
Ceremonies.
Oh my god, he's some of my favorite lines in the books.
Complications.
Complications?
It seems the goblin problem
Enough.
has...
He was the most unpopular
I've no time for
headmaster
rumors, Fig,
ever at
and I'm rapidly
Hogwarts.
losing whatever patience I
I think
had
that's what they say
left.
about him.
If you're lucky, we might still be able to get you sorted this evening.
Oh my gosh, Phineas!
I'll be in touch.
I've just given it to you, you dolt. Stay where you are. To Order the Phoenix. Or Dumbledore's like, I have a message. He's like, I have a message from Dumbledore. Stay where you are. And Harry's like, I haven't moved. So he's all grumpy.
Professor
And Phineas is
Weasley!
like, I just. Now what's the
One more
message?
to be
Phineas is
sorted.
like, I just given it to you, dolt. Stay where you are.
You're just in time. Have a seat.
Okay, how are they gonna do this? Don't disappoint me.
Ah, yes. A bit older than the others, aren't you?
31 to be exact.
You
Yeah.
come here with preferences and preconceptions.
Yeah, I do. That's true.
Certain expectation.
Yeah, that's fair. This better not determine my house. I'm gonna be so mad if I don't get the house I want. I'm gonna say I can't wait to explore.
I'm looking forward to exploring Hogwarts and the world beyond.
I'm trying to
the castle
answer the
grounds.
questions that are more geared towards Gryffindor.
Indeed. Much can be gleaned by having an adventurous spirit, but your professors have a great deal to teach you as well. I wonder. I detect something in you. A certain sense of...
Courage,
What is
courage, bravery, daring. That's what it is.
A sense of adventure? I like to think that I'm not afraid of anything.
Oh, but you're brave at heart.
I sure am.
Exceptionally daring. Undaunted by the unknown.
I did not
Willing
expect
to
it
forge
to
ahead
because-
alone when you must. Perhaps you belong in
Have you
Gryffindor.
seen to a bouncy place house before? I have not been to a bouncy house before. Sorting out will take your choice into account. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so grateful. When sorting you into a house, Gryffindor house, known for daring. Yes. Yes, I accept the house. Yes. Yes, please. Yes.
Better be Gryffindor!
Oh, and one more thing. Due to the unfortunate injury on the pitch in last spring's final, this year's Quidditch season has been cancelled.
What?
Enough! It's not as though I've banned flying altogether, but don't tempt me. You are here to focus on your academic futures. I'm sure you will have plenty to do before classes begin tomorrow. I said, I'm sure you all have plenty to do before classes begin tomorrow.
Quite an entrance. It's lovely to meet you. I'm...
Professor Weasley,
Professor
would you be so
Weasley.
kind as to show our new student to their
So
common
nice to
room?
meet you.
I shall see to it, sir. As I was saying, I'm Professor Weasley. Pleased to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well, Professor.
As Deputy Headmistress, it is my distinct honor to show you to your common room. Right this way. It's most uncommon for a student to begin as a 5th year. This should be quite an adventure.
I'm looking forward to it.
I remember the first time I entered the Gryffindor common room after being sorted.
Always
You were a
is the
Gryffindor.
sword and
I am a Gryffindor. Never could remember the password when I was a girl, however.
Password?
Password?
The password is Grata Domum.
Grata?
Grata
Dome.
Domum.
You may enter.
Well done. Now, go
Imagine
ahead
that scene
and
would
get
play out
dressed.
entirely
have
if
a
you
big
went if
day
you were in a
ahead of you
different
tomorrow.
house.
I shall be back in the morning to collect you for your first class.
Thank you, Professor Weasley.
You're welcome. I hope you enjoy your first night at Hogwarts. Sleep well.
Oh. Little stuttering. That's okay though. We're doing great. Oh, it's
Oh, looks like everyone's gone. Better head to the common room.
It's beautiful. But I'm afraid I'm gonna have to stop it there because it's late. But, it's great. I'm so excited. I'll save the game. Okay. And we will exit to main menu. The main menu is really cool. Oh my gosh, we don't need this. Aim mode reveals additional secondary targets and a reticle for greater targeting precision. I would love that. That would be really helpful, actually. Okay. All right. When can we jump in Bouncy House? When either of us get a bouncy house. How about that? Alright, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please click the like button to like the stream. It's really helpful. It tells YouTube that you enjoyed it. Leave a comment if you're watching this and it's no longer live. And click subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and turn on notifications so you can be notified the next time I go live. I'll be going live next week. If you want to know when, follow me on Twitter, link in the description. Also in the description is my Patreon if you'd like to support me as a content creator, or if you'd like to read my writing, because I am also a writer, and I have free stuff on there as well. Check it out. I also have a TikTok and an Instagram link in the description. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. And I hope you have a pleasant and magical evening. Bye-bye.